Antebellum was supposed to be a big theater release this year, but of course, because of COVID, it got pushed. Now, this was not getting good reviews, and I hadn't really watched the trailer, so I didn't know what to expect. I just knew it was from the producers of Get Out and Us, and that it had something to do with slavery, and that supposedly it was horror. So I was like, all right, fuck it. It dropped tonight. It's $20, but hey, I know you guys want to know if this thing's worth checking out. The reviews that have been coming in so far did not give me much hope, but I'm the guy who likes shit that everybody hates. So I went into this going, all right. And so the movie starts out, and it's got this long, sweeping one take with this awesome, like almost Shutter Island kind of music. And I was like, all right, man, we're setting the tone. And the opening's super dark. We're dealing with a time period that is not very fun to visit, but it plays it well. And I was like, all right, I'm into this. And then we get our first kind of twist, which I wasn't expecting because, as I said, I didn't really watch the trailer. I didn't know what to expect. So I was like kind of taken aback and was like, oh, okay, so this is where we're heading with this. As far as a plot synopsis goes, I feel like that's very difficult without spoilers. Like, I just don't know how to give a plot synopsis. So I'm just going to skip that, honestly. But the first twist, I guess is what you would call it, did throw me a little bit for a loop, which was fine. But then I was like, all right, this is where we're heading with this. Okay, all right, I'll follow along. And as I followed along, I was wondering, like, where it was going and when we were getting back to the point. And we were just following around some characters that it was slightly entertaining, but I was just kind of like, all right, like, are we gonna deal with the first bit of this movie at all? And then when we kind of make our way back there, this is when like another twist tries to happen, which is like the main twist. And here's the problem. This movie is extremely frustrating. I thought that this was, outside of the opening and outside of like the acting, cinematography, stuff like that, I thought that this was pretty terrible. And the problem with the film for me was that the film had a ton of potential. The idea behind the twist, the setup for things, if executed properly, you could have had a very profound, really impactful movie. But because of really bizarre choices in the narrative and the structure of the film, I was sitting there just kind of confused because I feel like the first twist really takes away the impact of the second twist. Like the main twist, which is the end twist, which isn't really a twist because of the first twist, made me so fucking confused by the decision to do that. Maybe they thought they'd get compared to another film, which I can't mention because I don't want to get into spoilers, but even the villains in this movie are so wasted. They're so blah. They're so important, and the way that they're not portrayed, but the way that they're handled. This was just such a rough watch because I was interested in the beginning. And it was even more frustrating when it got to the end and I was sitting there thinking, wow, if you would have done it like this could have been fucking fantastic. Like, the decision making behind the camera and in the editing room, and it just, all of that stuff was like, you have a good idea, you have good actors and actresses, you have a budget. Like, it felt so disjointed. It felt so unimpactful in the end, where I just sat there like, really? And when I checked the timestamp, it was like an hour and 15 into this like hour and 45 minute movie, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm way into this movie, like it's gonna be over soon, and I can't believe we're already here because I just don't feel like much has happened. And that makes no sense to me, like why they would structure it like this. This was rough, man. This was a rough movie to watch because of the potential. But I have to judge it for what it is, and I have to judge it for the execution that it had. I have to judge it as the film was presented, and the film I was presented, I didn't care for at all. Is it worth $20? Absolutely not. Would I recommend watching this? No. No. Like, I know what it's going for, and I think there will be people that will be like, oh, they didn't like it because of this. Something. I'm sure you can figure out what I mean by that. But that is not it. I can assure you. I think it goes for like a lot of like fist pump moments. Like it's trying to appeal to a black audience, and it's trying to have like these big fist pump moments, and it's like, I want those moments to work so badly. Like, I want that fucking, like, and all of us can, share in that. I mean, nobody wants to see fucking people enslaved. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. There's some fucking idiots out there, but you know what I mean. Like, most people, they reject this entire part of our history, and very much would want to see these kinds of people just brutally murdered, killed, freaking beaten, whatever. So like, we can all have those fist pump moments, but there's none to be had because of how it's presented. I'm just sitting there at the end thinking like, this is the moment in which I should be like, fuck yeah, get it, kind of moment. And it's just not there because of how disjointed everything became. This was fucking shame. A shame of a movie. So, I don't know. If you want to drop the $20 and see if I'm wrong, let me know what you thought. Other than that, yeah. Man, $20. $20. Damn, man. That's steep for this film. For this film, they should have released Halloween Kills. Man, I would have dropped $20 on that much easier than this thing. Oh well. Adios, guys.